this is Diecast Loon. I hope you're all doing well. And I've been away again for a little bit of time. Haven't made a video in about 2 weeks, but again, I've been quite busy. And I did say in the last video that my videos will be probably random now. They'll be either a couple of times a week or once a fortnight. And also, I did say that I was going to go back to my favourite little flea market and do a video. But unfortunately, even though it's better weather here at the minute and quite a lot warmer as we're approaching our summer slowly, it has been windy and rainy, so therefore the seller isn't there. But like I said before, I definitely will do a video. I promised I'd do a video, and that's I will do. And as soon as he's there, I will do it. But anyway, we are going to be looking at some of my favourite superfast. I think that's what I'm going to put in the title, some of my superfast favourites. I've got about 8 cars to go through. I will give a quick glimpse to show that they are all boxed examples. They are all mint. These are all pieces from my collection. I have shown them before at some point or another. But anyway, we'll go straight in there. We'll pick randomly and we'll get, well, I should have got like the box first really. But we're going to take a look at this very cool Lamborghini Countach in yellow. So here it is. I don't know how well it's coming out because it is dark here. And my lights are reflecting too much. But anyway, there it is in all its yellowness. There is other variations of this. There is like an orangey red colour with different stripes or whatever it is. I can't remember now. But this is the version that's always been my favourite. And this I was very lucky to get off a Tyrone a couple of years ago now, from building the Ultimate Matchbox car collection. He very, very kindly sent me this. I did a little bit of work for him, and he sent me this very nice Lamborghini Countach. So there is the opening back to see that flat 12. Is it a flat 12? I can't remember now. I know it's a 12 cylinder. I don't think it's a flat car. Do you know what? I can't remember anymore. But very, very cool piece. And again, from about the late 70s, I believe. Let's get some little bit of zoom on. I've got a new camera mode on this. I'm trying to get used to it. Let's have a little look. I believe it says 73 copyrights. Yeah, mid-70s. But an awesome, awesome piece. That's going to be piece number 1. So just move the box and the tissue out of the way and we'll just grab randomly. So the next one is this Lotus Super 7. And gently, gently open the box, as the box on this has seen better days. But at least it has its box. Can I get the car out? I've said this before, usually when I store my cars, I tend to store them in kitchen towel or tissue, just to keep them from rocking around the box, give them a little bit of padding and all that good stuff. And also, if your boxes are a little bit crumpled, the bit of tissue, it just helps puff the box out. Now, these are renowned for the glass being a bit flappy on these, and I got told off once for touching the glass, but I can assure you it is alright. It's not going to just fall out. It is just the way it is. But here is the Lotus 7, still has its sticker, as new, with flappy glass, and there is the underneath. So again, this one's another one, copyright 1971, just an earlier one again. But yeah, very, very cool, mint condition pretty much, apart from the flappy glass. A few little digs there, but again, most of the cars that came out of Matchbox back in the day, the quality control was usually very good, but it wasn't unheard of to find the odd little scratch, paint chip, etc, etc. And these cars, like I said, they're over 50-year-old now, and they've been in their boxes. This is another particular favourite of mine. Had this same car as a child. Not this exact car, but the same type. So this is, I think it's a BMW... BMW 3 litre CSL. Awesome, awesome piece. And like I said, this is one of my favourites. Not this exact car, but this same type. Let's move the box out of the way a minute. And again, wrapped up in tissue. And I'll show you what I want about defects in just a second. So let's move the tissue. So this car is as factory. As you can see, it is in very, very nice condition. Always loved this car as a child. There's the back, and here you go. Here is a classic factory defect. So it's got a bit of a dink there in what would be, I suppose, the back of the, well, the back of the quarter light there, quarter panel area. And as you can see, because the paint's not split, it is a factory defect, and it would have been sprayed over the top of that. But it gives it a bit of character. This is unique in respects of, I don't know how many ended up with that particular defect. But obviously when because they used to put these, I believe, into like a rumbler to get off any loose bits after the casting process. So maybe it went in there and got hit rather hard. But the doors do open. It is a great looking piece. And like I said, if you look underneath, it will say this is a 76, I believe. Let's get some extra zoom on again. So there you go, 1976. But again, childhood favourite. Zoom out a bit. So that's the BMW 3 litre CSL. Another car, particularly cool piece. So this is, I believe it's the Fandango. I didn't get that this long ago, if I'm completely honest. I would like to find it in the white. I had them in both colours as a child. Again, not this exact piece, but the exact same piece nonetheless. This is the red variation. There's a few variations, red and white, and some of them came with the top bit there would be like a different colour in a chrome. It's from the Rollermatics range, which, as you can see, spin the wheels. Quite an unusual car, and if I'm completely honest, as a kid, I didn't really like this car, if I'm completely honest, but as I've got older, I've grown to really like it. Not just because of the nostalgia of having one, not just because it's in mint condition, but because if anybody's watched that film, A Clockwork Orange, a Stanley Kubrick movie, this reminds me of that car that you see them all piled into when they're racing down the road. Now this is obviously made up, but from the front it has got a very similar look. So very, very cool. And again, it is from the Rollermatics. There you go, Matchbox Rollermatics, 1975, and I believe it is the Fandango. Is it the Fandango? Let's have a little look underneath again. Yeah, Fandango. So pretty cool. Let's put that to one side. Next one's going to be another from the concept cars or mythical cars. So this is, I'm just trying to look, I think this is, I know it's a Dragster, something Dragster. Where are we to? It is Road Dragster. There you go. This is probably, I've got a funny feeling, is it one of the oldest ones here? So let's move the box. And this one's in what looks like to be some sort of, almost like greaseproof paper. Again, there's some other variations of this one too, but this is the red. And again, in really, really nice condition. I didn't have one of these as a child, but I just, something about this car I really like. And it's funny because I never used to really be into fantasy castings, but I just think this is such a cool piece. Get a bit extra zoom on to get some of the detail. So there you go, that's the money shot. I think the front end looks great. But yeah, great looking piece. So that is the Road Dragster. Zoom back out a bit. Moving on, got this one. So it is the Lamborghini Marzle. I think it's the Marzle. And again, this is another slightly older superfast, I believe. Just put it over there to one side. And remove the tissue. And again, it's like an orangey pink. Quite a bizarre colour. It again, the phone, I don't know if it's coming out, but it looks quite dull. But when you look at it off camera, it's actually quite a lively colour. These were a real car, at least these are a concept car. Again, this comes in different variations, but this is obviously the orangey pink variation, I suppose you could call it. Almost like a salmony colour, but in very, very nice condition. There's the back. There's the front. And again, if we get some extra zoom on, I can tap the button. So yeah, 69, so 1970, 69, 70. So again, probably one of the older ones. So that is the Lamborghini Marzle. Never can pronounce it right. Next piece, zoom back out. is going to be, now this is a particular favourite of mine, not only because I had one of these as a child again, but because my dad used to have the same car. And he also had a very nice Coke bottle shaped Mark III Ford Cortina GT, which was a very similar colour. Actual fact, I think that was black vinyl top, dark green. But he had one very much like this, and then obviously having one as a child and all that good stuff. It's great to have the same car that your father drives. So let's move that out of the way. And here it is, Mark IV Ford Cortina, 1600 I believe. And look at that paint. That is just absolutely flawless for something that's so old, or at least from the late 70s anyway. And this, like I said before, this is my particular favourite type of Matchbox. I've got a wild variety from right back from when they started to pretty much up to modern, but I like the 70s period because that's where I was born, and this is a lot of the cars I had as a child. So very cool. So that is that. So let's just move that to one side. That is the Ford Cortina. And then the last piece is, as I said before in a previous video, is probably my favourite vintage Matchbox and one of my very favourite cars, which is hard to say this when you've got so many cars, but it is this very cool Matchbox Superfast number 54 Capri Mach 1 Capri. So let's again take out this plastic protector, as the box is pretty much mint, and gently open it up. And if you ever get a box that won't want to open, if you're lucky enough to have your cars boxed, which is what I should do, is just get a butter knife, a blunt knife, and just gently pop it in and just open the flap up. Sometimes you can be very easily to just rip off the doors because they get brittle as they get older. And there it is, based on the Mark 1 Capri, and it's also, being it has a black bonnet, it would be based on the GT model. And again, this colour is off camera. It's very similar to this colour, funnily enough, but again, a little bit more orangey in it. And you can see what Matchbox was trying to do. They were trying to make their cars pop. But what a piece. Absolute all-time favourite. So there you go, 1970s. So okay, about 1971, 72, something like that. And this is one of my favourite pieces. Very gently lift the bonnet up, because I don't want to lift up too far, knock the paint off, just to reveal the 1.6, which you can't see very well. Let's get some extra zoom. But for back in the day, this was very nicely detailed. And again, it's got a little factory defect. That is from factory, where it's been riveted on and not lined up properly, and it just ended up bending, but not a problem. I've got a few of these Capris in my collection, as they are my favourite casting, and I want to do a video. I've been playing with this idea. I'm gonna probably do a walk through time. I'm gonna go back to where I grew up, because I don't live too far from where I grew up, and I might do a sort of show where I used to play. Because when I was a young child, I used to play in the big front garden we have, and under a tree, and I used to make little Matchbox construction sites. And I wouldn't mind doing a video. I know the person that owns the house, back where my vintage interest came from. And I've even got photographs of me holding some of my vintage cars, which back in the day they weren't vintage, but they are now. You know where I'm going with this. It might be quite a cool video. But so anyway, with that, less waffle. Please like, share, subscribe, stay tuned for more vintage videos. If you like vintage content, this is the place to find it. I will, like I said before, my videos are a little bit all over the place at the moment. I'm not doing any specific time patterns for my videos anymore. I'm just doing them as and when I feel like it or when I can do it. I will definitely be doing a video on the flea market finds when the guy is back, because he does sell some very, very cool stuff. And I know you lot out there like to see the stuff being found in the raw. And like I said, he categorises it really well. You've got play worn, you've got sort of in between, you've got real nice stuff, and there's quite a hodgepodge of stuff there. But anyway, see you all very soon. Thanks for watching. Take care.